Have you ever felt the weight of your expectations on your children? As we age, it's natural to want our children to be our primary source of happiness and support. But what happens when those expectations become burdens? Today, we'll explore a vital concept from Buddhism: detachment. This powerful teaching encourages us to release our emotional dependencies and discover true happiness within ourselves. In this video, we will explore why letting go of our expectations can lead to healthier relationships with our children and enhance our own emotional well-being. You will learn how clinging to these expectations can create suffering not just for us but also for our children. By embracing the idea of autonomy, we can foster genuine love and respect in our relationships. Stick around as we discuss practical strategies for cultivating inner peace, why solitude can be a valuable ally in our spiritual growth, and how to maintain our personal responsibility even in old age. You won't want to miss the insights on transforming your approach to aging and relationships and how these principles can ultimately lead to a more fulfilling life. Don't forget to like and subscribe to our channel, Conscious Wisdom, for more reflections and practices that promote serenity and understanding at every stage of life. Let's dive in. If you are not subscribed, subscribe and activate the notification bell so you don't miss any videos. Your support means a lot to me. And if you enjoyed this video, you can help me continue spreading the valuable lessons by liking and sharing it. One of the fundamental principles of Buddhism is the concept of detachment, a profound teaching that invites us to release our expectations and desires for the ephemeral, recognizing the impermanence of all things. According to the Buddha's teachings, suffering arises precisely when we cling to what is transient. Among the myriad of temporary things we hold on to are our expectations of our children. As the years unfold, it is common for us to begin viewing our children as the sole source of support and happiness in our later years. This reliance may seem natural, yet when we place all our emotional expectations and sense of well-being squarely on their shoulders, we may unwittingly foster a damaging dynamic for both them and ourselves. This kind of emotional dependency can become a heavy burden, draining the vitality of our relationships and preventing both sides from experiencing the authentic, unencumbered love that we so deeply desire. When we impose our expectations on our children, we risk stifling their growth and individuality, casting a shadow over their aspirations and happiness. They may feel pressured to fulfill roles that were never meant to be theirs, leading to feelings of resentment and frustration. Conversely, we may find ourselves feeling neglected or abandoned if they do not meet our expectations, creating a cycle of disappointment and emotional turmoil. By embracing the Buddhist teaching of detachment, we can begin to unravel this web of dependency. Letting go of our unrealistic expectations allows us to foster a more nurturing and supportive environment, one that encourages our children to pursue their paths while simultaneously allowing us to cultivate our sense of fulfillment and joy. This shift in perspective not only liberates our children, but also enriches our relationships, paving the way for a deeper, more genuine connection grounded in mutual respect and love. In this space of freedom, we can celebrate the beauty of our unique journeys, finding joy in our independence while remaining connected in spirit. Imagine, for a moment, the profound emotional pressure that weighs heavily on a child when they feel an obligation to fill every emotional void in their parents' lives. This kind of dependency, rather than nurturing a healthy relationship, breeds suffering for both parents and children alike. By imposing such towering expectations upon them, we not only ask for more than is fair or reasonable, but we also rob ourselves of the opportunity to seek and discover our own inner peace and genuine fulfillment. In this context, emotional attachment transforms into a formidable barrier, obstructing the well-being of both ourselves and our children. When we demand that they always be present or take on the heavy mantle of responsibility for our happiness, we inadvertently create an emotional burden that can be overwhelmingly difficult for them to shoulder. This strain can lead to feelings of frustration and overwhelm in our children, while simultaneously preventing us from developing our capacity for independent happiness. One of the most profound acts of love we can extend to our children is to grant them the gift of freedom. Freedom from the shackles of our emotional demands and expectations. We must recognize that we cannot realistically expect them to be available at every moment, nor can we place the weight of our happiness solely on their shoulders. By allowing them the space to pursue their own lives and dreams, we foster an environment in which love can flourish without the corrosive influence of obligation. In doing so, we empower our children to grow into their authentic selves, while also embarking on our journeys of self-discovery and joy. This reciprocal freedom creates a healthier dynamic, where respect and genuine affection thrive, enabling both parents and children to experience the richness of life unencumbered by unrealistic expectations. Ultimately, by embracing this perspective, we open the door to deeper connections grounded in mutual understanding, compassion, and true love. According to the profound teachings of Buddhism, true happiness is not something to be found in external possessions or the presence of others. It emerges from a deep well of inner peace and self-awareness. No matter how often our children visit us or how many calls they make, if we have not taken the time to cultivate a solid foundation of inner tranquility, the emptiness we feel will remain unfilled, echoing within us. The path to emotional well-being in our later years invites us to embrace solitude as a transformative opportunity for spiritual growth. Instead of viewing solitude as a form of punishment or a source of loneliness, we can reframe it as a precious space for self-exploration, meditation, and profound personal reflection. In this quietude, we can discover the rich tapestry of our inner lives, allowing us to achieve a genuine sense of freedom. By fostering this inner strength, we also relieve our children of the emotional burdens and responsibilities that are not theirs to carry. As we age, it is entirely natural to desire the company of our children, to wish for their support in making crucial decisions, or even to hope that they will sacrifice essential aspects of their own lives for our sake. However, from a Buddhist perspective, it is vital to uphold our autonomy for as long as possible. When we ask our children to make decisions about our health, well-being, or other significant matters that we should face ourselves, we risk renouncing our responsibility. This not only limits our growth and development, but also imposes an unnecessary emotional weight on them, potentially straining the very relationships we cherish. By maintaining our independence and taking ownership of our choices, we not only enrich our own lives, but also create an environment where our children can thrive without the shadow of obligation. This balance fosters a healthier dynamic, built on mutual respect and understanding, allowing love to flourish freely, unencumbered by unrealistic expectations. Ultimately, it is in this delicate interplay of autonomy and connection that we can find the true essence of happiness, one that nourishes both our souls and the bonds we share with our loved ones. Buddhism imparts a profound wisdom that life is a tapestry woven with lessons, and the journey of aging represents a pivotal stage for learning many of them. When we relinquish control over our lives to our children, we inadvertently forfeit the invaluable opportunity to confront and learn from the myriad challenges that aging presents. These lessons, though often daunting and uncomfortable, are integral to our spiritual growth, allowing us to cultivate greater inner strength and resilience. By accepting responsibility for our decisions and embracing the trials that accompany this stage of life, we empower ourselves to evolve as individuals, uncovering new layers of wisdom and self-discovery. Moreover, by consciously choosing not to delegate this emotional burden to our children, we create a more balanced and harmonious relationship, one where respect and genuine love can flourish, free from the tensions that often arise from dependency. This shift allows both parents and children to thrive, fostering a dynamic built on mutual understanding rather than obligation. If you are still watching this video and find these lessons useful, please comment 1 below to let me know that you are still here with me. In this way, the experience of old age transforms from a perceived period of loss into a profound opportunity to delve deeper into our true essence. It becomes a time for connecting with our inner selves, where we can explore our thoughts, emotions, and desires with clarity and intention. By embracing this journey, we can learn to live more fully and freely, discovering the beauty of our existence and the richness of our relationships without the constraints of unrealistic expectations. Ultimately, as we navigate the complexities of aging, we find that it is not merely a time of decline, but a vibrant chapter of life that invites us to reflect, grow, and embrace the fullness of who we are. In this exploration, we cultivate not only our happiness, but also a deeper, more authentic connection with those we love, creating a legacy of wisdom and compassion for generations to come. How can we learn to embrace solitude and aging as powerful allies in our spiritual growth? It is through this contemplation that we uncover the true essence of autonomy. Authentic freedom in our later years is not found in the attempts to control or depend on our children. Rather, it emerges from the profound practice of letting go, accepting reality as it is, and cultivating peace within our hearts. In this journey of self-discovery, we realize that it is through acts of detachment and self-acceptance that we uncover the serenity we yearn for. The key lies in liberating ourselves from the expectations we place on others, allowing us to fully embrace our inner well-being. Solitude becomes a sanctuary, a sacred space where we can reflect, meditate, and connect with our innermost thoughts and feelings. In this environment of introspection, we can explore the depths of our being, nurturing our spiritual growth without the distractions of external demands. If you're interested in exploring further how the profound teachings of Buddhism can guide you toward peace and balance at every stage of life, I warmly invite you to subscribe to our channel, Conscious Wisdom. Here, we offer valuable reflections and practical insights designed to help you cultivate a life brimming with greater serenity, fulfillment, and understanding. Together, we can navigate the complexities of existence, finding strength and wisdom in every moment, and ultimately embracing the richness of our journeys. Let's continue this important discussion. First and foremost, it's vital to avoid asking our children to sacrifice their lives for our sake. Have you ever taken a moment to truly reflect on the profound implications of such a request? In the later stages of life, it's completely natural to find ourselves feeling an increased need for support, hoping that our children will prioritize our well-being over their aspirations and dreams. Yet, from a Buddhist perspective, this kind of request fundamentally contradicts the principles of detachment and personal responsibility, creating an emotional and spiritual burden that can be incredibly challenging for them to bear. It's crucial to recognize that, while this type of dependence may seem instinctive, asking our children to make such sacrifices places an immense responsibility on their shoulders, one that generates suffering for both them and ourselves. This excessive attachment, the incessant need for control or the expectation that they must always be present, interferes with their freedom to grow, to live their own experiences, and to be who they truly are. By imposing these burdens, we inadvertently stifle their development and limit their potential to explore life on their terms. This dynamic can lead to feelings of resentment and frustration, not only in them but also in ourselves, as we grapple with unmet needs and expectations. Instead of fostering a healthy relationship built on mutual respect and love, we risk creating a cycle of obligation that strains our connections and diminishes the authenticity of our interactions. Thus, it becomes imperative to shift our perspective. By allowing our children the freedom to pursue their paths and encouraging them to live fully, we create a space for healthier, more balanced relationships. Embracing this approach not only nurtures their growth, but also frees us from the shackles of dependency, allowing us to seek fulfillment and happiness from within. In this way, we cultivate an environment where love can thrive, unencumbered by the weight of expectations, and where both parents and children can flourish as individuals. Today, I invite you to reflect deeply on how the expectation for our children to make sacrifices can evolve into a source of mutual pain. When we demand such sacrifices, we entangle them in a dynamic that not only constrains their growth, but also perpetuates our own suffering. From a Buddhist standpoint, learning to let go of these expectations is essential for freeing both our children and ourselves. When we release the notion that our children must sacrifice their lives for our well-being, we begin to experience a profound and genuine sense of peace. Letting go doesn't equate to renouncing love or support. Rather, it signifies allowing that love to flow freely, without conditions or demands. By relinquishing the expectation that they must be by our side at all times, we grant them the freedom to pursue their paths, and in doing so, we create an opportunity for ourselves to find emotional and spiritual balance. While caring for parents is undoubtedly an act of love, asking our children to take on the role of primary caregivers at the expense of their own dreams and aspirations runs counter to a fundamental principle of mutual respect. From a Buddhist perspective, each individual has their unique path and karma to fulfill. Every person enters this world with a distinct mission, a purpose that they must discover and pursue for their growth and fulfillment. By recognizing and honoring this truth, we foster a relationship built on respect and understanding. We can support our children in their journeys, while also nurturing our independence and self-sufficiency. This shift not only enriches our connections, but also empowers both parents and children to thrive in their respective lives, leading to a more harmonious family dynamic. Ultimately, by letting go of the need for sacrifice, we open ourselves up to deeper, more authentic connections grounded in love and mutual respect. This approach allows us to navigate the complexities of aging and caregiving with grace, finding joy in the freedom to be who we are, while celebrating the unique paths our children are destined to follow. Respecting our children's journeys means refraining from interfering with their decisions and paths. When we ask them to abandon their dreams and projects to be constantly by our side, we not only hinder their personal growth, but also distance them from their true life purpose. This, in turn, prevents them from advancing in their emotional and spiritual development. In Buddhism, attachment is regarded as one of the primary sources of suffering. While it is entirely natural to feel a profound love for our children and desire their closeness, the challenge arises when that love transforms into attachment. Attachment creates an emotional dependency, where we come to believe that we need their presence or attention to find happiness and peace. This dependency is a trap. Our children will not always be available in the ways we hope, and this can lead to inevitable pain and disappointment. By demanding that they sacrifice their time, energy, and lives for our sake, we reinforce this unhealthy attachment. Such expectations create a dynamic that can be detrimental to both our well-being and theirs. Buddhism teaches us the art of letting go. This concept does not imply abandoning our loved ones or ceasing to love them. Rather, it means freeing them from our expectations and allowing them to live their lives authentically. When we demand that our children sacrifice their own desires and aspirations to care for us, we cling to a misguided vision of what their role in our lives should be. Learning to release these expectations enables us to experience a purer, more selfless love, one that allows both us and our children to live with greater freedom and fulfillment. In this process of letting go, we can cultivate a deeper sense of connection, rooted not in obligation, but in genuine affection and mutual respect. By honoring their paths, we encourage them to pursue their passions and dreams, ultimately enriching our relationships. This shift allows us to embrace a love that is not contingent upon their presence, fostering an environment where both parents and children can thrive, grow, and experience the fullness of life together. When we demand that our children sacrifice their lives for us, we impose a significant emotional burden that can profoundly impact their mental and emotional well-being. Children who feel pressured to relinquish their dreams and aspirations to meet family expectations often grapple with overwhelming stress, anxiety, and guilt. They find themselves in a painful crossroads, torn between their desire to follow their paths and the heavy weight of parental needs and obligations. Buddhism teaches us that suffering should not be transferred to others. While it is entirely natural to seek support in our later years, it is crucial to be mindful of not demanding more than we truly need. By releasing the expectations we place on our children, we grant them the invaluable opportunity to flourish and grow on their own terms. This liberation allows them to embrace life with greater authenticity and peace, while simultaneously strengthening and enriching the bond we share with them. If you are still watching this video and find these lessons useful, please comment too below to let me know that you are still here with me. Instead of burdening them with our expectations, When we permit them the freedom to live their lives, we cultivate a space for a more genuine and balanced love. According to Buddhist teachings, true love is characterized by being non-possessive and non-demanding. It is a love offered freely, without the anticipation of anything in return. One that acknowledges the transient nature of life and recognizes that each individual has a unique path to traverse. By embracing this understanding, we foster a nurturing environment where our children can pursue their passions, explore their identities, and develop their relationships. This not only alleviates the emotional weight they might feel, but also enriches our connections with them. In allowing them the freedom to thrive, we cultivate a love that is deep and enduring, grounded in respect and mutual understanding. This shift not only benefits our children, but also enhances our well-being, creating a cycle of growth and harmony within our family dynamic. When we ask a child to sacrifice their dreams and aspirations to care for us, we condition that love and impose demands on the relationship. True, authentic love is one that respects the autonomy of the other, free from expectations and obligations. In this context, detachment does not imply emotional distance. Rather, it embodies the ability to love deeply without attempting to control or possess the other person. Learning to love our children without demanding that they abandon their own desires or goals for our sake is crucial. By practicing detachment, we grant them the freedom to live their lives fully while simultaneously discovering our liberation. This detachment offers us a profound opportunity in old age to cultivate genuine inner peace by letting go of our expectations and relinquishing the burdens we place upon our children. Demanding sacrifices from our children traps us in the cycle of suffering that attachment can create. Instead of seeking happiness through their constant presence, we can begin to nurture an inner peace that exists independently of their company. This peace, deep, unwavering, and self-sustaining, is perhaps the most valuable gift we can give ourselves and those we love. By relinquishing our demands, we allow our children to live freely, exploring their passions and forging their paths. In turn, we create space for our fulfillment. This shift in perspective transforms our relationships into partnerships based on mutual respect and understanding, allowing both parents and children to thrive as individuals. Ultimately, this journey towards attachment is not about withdrawing love. Rather, it's about embracing a richer, more profound connection, one that celebrates both the independence of our children and the inner peace we cultivate within ourselves. Detachment is not a renunciation of love. Rather, it is a transformation of that love into a liberating force that allows us to live lightly, unburdened by the expectations that can lead to pain. Aging does not have to be characterized by attachment or dependency. Through Buddhist teachings, we can learn to release our expectations, relinquish control, and empower our children to live their lives without the weight of our demands. True freedom and inner peace emerge not from controlling others, but from liberating ourselves from attachment. By embracing this perspective, both you and your children can cultivate lives filled with harmony and a deeper, more genuine love. This journey encourages us to celebrate the unique paths we each walk, fostering relationships built on respect and mutual understanding. Before we move on, if you're finding value in this discussion, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe to our channel. Join us as we share insights and advice aimed at bringing abundance and prosperity into your life. Now, let's continue this important exploration. Secondly, it's essential to avoid demanding that your children bear the responsibility for your happiness. Have you taken a moment to truly reflect on what it means to ask someone else to guarantee your happiness in old age? This request can lead us into the illusion that our well-being hinges on others, particularly our children. We often find ourselves longing for their visits, attention, and gestures of affection to fill the emotional void that time can create. However, Buddhism offers us a profound teaching. True happiness does not stem from external sources, not even from those closest to us. Instead, happiness is an internal state that can only be cultivated through personal transformation and the release of our reliance on external expectations. Buddhism emphasizes that seeking happiness from outside ourselves builds our lives on an unstable foundation. Nothing and no one in this world is permanent, neither the attention of our children nor their physical presence. By recognizing that our happiness must come from within, we empower ourselves to take control of our emotional well-being. This shift encourages us to engage in self-reflection, personal growth, and the cultivation of inner peace. When we detach from the notion that our children must fulfill our emotional needs, we open the door to authentic joy and fulfillment that is not contingent upon their actions or availability. This newfound freedom not only enhances our own lives, but also enriches our relationships with our children, allowing for deeper connections based on mutual respect and understanding. By demanding that our children be the source of our happiness, we entrap both ourselves and them in a cycle of dependency that can lead to unnecessary suffering and tension within the relationship. True happiness is not contingent upon another person fulfilling our emotional needs. Rather, it stems from our internal approach to life. Instead of looking to our children for the key to our happiness, it is essential to cultivate an inner peace that is resilient and independent of external factors. This journey involves learning to find satisfaction and balance within ourselves and taking full responsibility for our emotional well-being. By shifting our focus inward, we not only spare our children from bearing an unnecessary emotional burden, but also discover a more authentic and lasting form of happiness. Genuine joy arises from our ability to confront and transform our own lives, rather than from what we receive from others. Embracing this perspective allows us to build a life rooted in self-awareness and personal growth. It empowers us to explore our passions, engage in meaningful activities, and cultivate relationships that enhance our well-being without the weight of expectation. This inner work enriches our lives and creates a more harmonious connection with our children, fostering a relationship where love can flourish freely, unencumbered by the pressures of obligation or expectation. Ultimately, by nurturing our happiness, we empower our children to do the same, creating a cycle of mutual respect and fulfillment. One of the fundamental teachings of Buddhism is that suffering arises from attachment and emotional dependence. When we cling to the belief that others, especially our children, must be responsible for our happiness and emotional well-being, we place ourselves in a vulnerable position, open to disappointment. While our children may love us deeply, their lives are not designed solely to fulfill our emotional needs. They, too, face their challenges, aspirations, and responsibilities. Demanding that they serve as the cornerstone of our happiness imposes an unnecessary emotional burden on them. This expectation not only heightens our suffering, but also negatively impacts our relationship with them. Each time we seek to fill an emotional void through their presence or support, we inadvertently increase the pressure they feel. This dynamic can lead to feelings of resentment, guilt, or inadequacy as they grapple with the weight of our expectations. Rather than strengthening our bond, this reliance creates a rift where our children may feel they must sacrifice their well-being and aspirations to meet our needs. In this scenario, love becomes entangled with obligation, eroding the genuine affection that should characterize our relationships. Instead of nurturing a connection based on mutual respect and understanding, we risk fostering an environment of tension and unease, where both parties feel trapped by emotional demands. To break this cycle, we must embrace the teachings of Buddhism and recognize the importance of cultivating our happiness from within. By doing so, we allow our children to flourish without the burdens of our expectations, fostering a relationship built on love that is free from conditions or demands. This shift not only enhances our well-being, but also strengthens the bond we share, paving the way for deeper, more authentic connections that honor the individuality of both parent and child. This emotional dependence can easily transform a close relationship into a source of tension and conflict. Instead of seeking to fulfill our emotional needs through our children, it is vital to recognize that true peace and satisfaction originate from within ourselves. Learning to manage our own emotions and cultivate happiness independently allows us to maintain balanced and healthy relationships. This not only frees our children from the weight of our expectations, but also creates a more harmonious and loving environment for everyone involved. In Buddhism, we are taught that genuine happiness is not found in the external world, but rather within our own inner being. It is a state of serenity and calm that emerges when we cease to look for joy in others. As we enter old age, this principle becomes even more relevant and urgent. This stage of life presents us with a precious opportunity for reflection and self-discovery, enabling us to develop an inner peace that remains unaffected by the actions or attitudes of those around us. If you are still watching this video and find these lessons useful, please comment 3 below to let me know that you are still here with me. By embracing this journey inward, we can uncover the depths of our potential for joy and contentment. We learn to appreciate the beauty of solitude and the richness of our thoughts and experiences. As we cultivate this inner tranquility, we not only enhance our own lives, but also model a healthier approach to relationships for our children. This shift allows us to engage with them from a place of love and support, rather than neediness or dependency, fostering deeper connections based on respect and understanding. Ultimately, this commitment to our emotional well-being transforms our relationships, creating a legacy of resilience and peace that can inspire future generations. Demanding that our children be the source of our happiness is an unrealistic expectation that ultimately distances us from the inner peace we seek. Instead of searching externally for what can only be found within ourselves, Buddhism encourages us to focus on self-cultivation, meditation, and detachment. By embracing these practices, we can establish a solid foundation of well-being that remains unaffected by external circumstances or the actions of those around us. Self-cultivation involves actively working on our ability to manage our emotions and thoughts constructively. This practice allows us to experience lasting and genuine happiness that is rooted in self-awareness and resilience. It encourages us to take responsibility for our emotional landscape, enabling us to navigate life's challenges with grace and confidence. Meditation serves as a vital tool in this journey, helping us connect with our deeper selves and find tranquility in the present moment. Through regular meditation, we cultivate mindfulness, which empowers us to observe our thoughts and feelings without judgment. This practice not only calms the mind, but also fosters a greater understanding of our inner workings, leading to profound insights and peace. Detachment is another essential aspect of this journey. It teaches us to release the expectations and desires that often trap us in a cycle of dissatisfaction and longing. By letting go of the need for our children or anyone else to fulfill our emotional needs, we open ourselves up to a more liberated and fulfilling existence. This sense of detachment does not mean withdrawing from relationships. Rather, it allows us to engage with others from a place of love and support rather than neediness. By integrating self-cultivation, meditation, and detachment into our lives, we create a nurturing environment for our happiness. In doing so, we not only enhance our well-being, but also foster healthier, more balanced relationships with our children. This shift in perspective empowers us to experience joy and contentment from within, ultimately enriching our connections and cultivating a life filled with love and understanding. By integrating these transformative practices into our daily lives, especially as we navigate the later stages of life, we can cultivate an inner peace that remains untouched by external circumstances. This profound sense of tranquility not only enriches our personal experience, but also alleviates our children from the immense pressure of meeting our emotional expectations. Ultimately, this shift empowers us to live with greater fullness and serenity, rooted in a deep understanding of our own nature and our innate capacity to find happiness from within. When we free our children from the burden of being responsible for our happiness, we grant them the freedom they truly deserve. This liberation allows them to pursue their dreams and aspirations without the weight of our expectations holding them back. Simultaneously, we free ourselves from the entanglement of dependency, enabling us to embrace a more authentic and joyful existence. In this way, we create a harmonious cycle of mutual respect and love. Our children can thrive in their own lives, while we cultivate the inner richness that comes from self-awareness and emotional independence. This journey toward personal fulfillment not only strengthens our bond with our children, but also nurtures a more profound and genuine love, allowing us to share our lives without the constraints of obligation or expectation. By releasing our children from the weight of our emotional burdens, we open ourselves to the profound realization that true happiness resides in the present moment. It flourishes in our ability to appreciate what we have and in nurturing our inner connections. When we demand that our children be the sole source of our joy, we inadvertently construct a relationship steeped in pressure and unmet expectations. The stark reality is that no one can continuously fulfill such a demand. There will inevitably be times when they are unavailable, facing their challenges, or simply unable to give us the attention we crave. These moments can lead to feelings of disappointment, frustration, and even hurt, which negatively impact our relationship with them. Buddhism teaches us that each individual follows their unique path, navigating personal challenges and invaluable lessons along the way. By expecting our children to fulfill our emotional needs, we inadvertently push them away from their growth and impose an unnecessary burden that weighs heavily on their hearts. Our relationships with our children should be built on the foundations of mutual love and respect, rather than on expectations or demands that can suffocate the natural bond we share. When we let go of the notion that our happiness hinges on their actions, we create a nurturing space for our relationship to flourish authentically and free from pressure. This shift allows us to experience deeper, more meaningful connections, rooted in appreciation rather than obligation. By fostering an environment where both we and our children can thrive, we cultivate a loving dynamic that honors each individual's journey and encourages emotional independence, leading to a more harmonious and fulfilling relationship. Detachment, a cornerstone of Buddhist philosophy, grants us the profound opportunity to experience genuine emotional freedom. When we release our dependence on our children for our happiness, we create space in our lives for greater lightness and fulfillment. This detachment does not equate to indifference. Rather, it embodies the ability to love deeply without the burdensome ties and expectations that often lead to suffering. In this manner, we can enjoy our relationships more authentically, allowing for enriching connections that foster lasting inner peace. Buddhism equips us with powerful tools to uncover happiness within ourselves. Practices such as meditation, reflection, and the cultivation of detachment serve as pathways to reconnect with our true essence, enabling us to find peace that is independent of external influences. In our later years, we have a unique opportunity to focus on this internal development, freeing ourselves from the weight of expectations and discovering a deeper, more enduring sense of joy. Embracing detachment also helps us recognize the impermanence of life. Our children will not always be available to us, and that is a natural aspect of existence. We do not require their constant presence to feel content. By releasing the expectation that they must always be by our side, we can fully appreciate their company without the pressure of obligation. Each moment spent with them transforms into a precious gift rather than a duty. Aging can be a rich and transformative stage, filled with opportunities for personal growth and profound introspection. By choosing to no longer depend on our children for our happiness, we take a significant step toward attaining true inner peace. This journey allows us to embrace the beauty of the present, savoring each experience without the constraints of attachment, and ultimately fostering a more harmonious and loving relationship with ourselves and those we cherish. Buddhism teaches us that true happiness originates from within, and by liberating our children from the emotional burdens we place on them, we pave the way for healthier, more balanced relationships. This act of release not only enhances our connections with our loved ones, but also grants us a deeper sense of serenity and satisfaction in our own lives. In the later stages of life, as we confront fragility and dependence, it can be tempting to transfer the responsibility for making important decisions to our children. However, Buddhism emphasizes the significance of personal responsibility as essential for our spiritual growth, even in the most trying times. While it may seem simpler to delegate decision-making to our children, we must strive to uphold our autonomy as much as possible. Each individual possesses a capacity for discernment and the ability to find answers within themselves. By relinquishing our decision-making authority, we rob ourselves of the opportunity to cultivate and strengthen that inner wisdom. Moreover, placing critical decisions in the hands of our children imposes a significant emotional burden on them. They may feel overwhelmed by the weight of our expectations and the responsibility of making choices that directly impact our lives. This dynamic can create a distressing internal conflict, where they grapple with what they believe is best for us versus what we might truly desire if we were capable of deciding for ourselves. Such pressure can lead to feelings of anxiety and frustration, straining the parent-child relationship and complicating an already challenging situation. Instead of seeking to delegate our decisions, we can embrace the opportunity to engage in our own lives actively. This approach not only empowers us to face our circumstances with dignity, but also allows our children to flourish without the burden of unrealistic expectations. By taking responsibility for our choices, we foster a more authentic and respectful relationship, one that honors the autonomy of both ourselves and our children. Ultimately, this path leads us toward greater inner peace, enabling us to navigate the complexities of aging with grace and resilience. Crucial opportunities for growth and self-discovery. Instead of viewing our challenges as burdens, we can see them as stepping stones on our spiritual journey, allowing us to develop resilience and wisdom. If you are still watching this video and find these lessons useful, please comment below to let me know that you are still here with me. Finding a balance means allowing our children to provide support when needed while still taking an active role in our lives. This can manifest as involving them in discussions about our preferences and values rather than assigning them the authority to make decisions on our behalf. By doing so, we create an environment of collaboration rather than dependency, fostering mutual respect and understanding. When we maintain our decision-making capacity, we empower ourselves to engage with the world around us. This not only enriches our own lives, but also demonstrates to our children the importance of personal responsibility. By modeling how to navigate challenges with grace and clarity, we offer them valuable lessons about facing their obstacles, thereby strengthening our bond. Buddhism teaches us that every experience, even the most difficult, is an opportunity for growth. Embracing this philosophy allows us to approach aging with a sense of purpose and intention. Rather than surrendering our autonomy, we can lean into our experiences, reflecting on what they teach us about ourselves and our relationships. Ultimately, cultivating our inner peace while supporting our children in their journeys is essential. This delicate balance creates a nurturing environment where love flourishes, free from the constraints of expectation and obligation. By honoring both our needs and those of our children, we foster a harmonious relationship that enriches all involved, allowing us to navigate the complexities of aging with dignity and joy. Embracing our autonomy and decision-making allows us to cultivate a sense of agency and purpose, even as we face the challenges of aging. Buddhism emphasizes that every moment offers a chance for growth and reflection. When we confront difficult situations, we deepen our understanding of ourselves and our place in the world. By actively engaging with our circumstances, we can transform moments of uncertainty into opportunities for clarity and insight. This process not only enhances our spiritual evolution, but also reinforces our connection with our inner wisdom. It is through this connection that we can navigate the complexities of life with confidence, recognizing that our spirit holds the key to discernment and peace. Meditation and reflection serve as invaluable tools in this journey. They help quiet the noise of external expectations and fears, allowing us to tap into our deeper selves. As we cultivate this inner stillness, we find the strength to make choices that resonate with our true desires and values, rather than those imposed by others. Moreover, by maintaining our decision-making capacity, we model resilience and self-reliance for our children. This not only alleviates the pressure on them, but also fosters a relationship based on mutual respect and understanding. They can witness our ability to navigate life's challenges, inspiring them to cultivate their strength and independence. In essence, By embracing our autonomy and engaging in self-reflection, we honor our journey and the wisdom we carry. This practice of detachment, letting go of expectations and the need for constant support, enables us to cultivate a deeper, more meaningful connection with ourselves and those we love. As we navigate the later stages of life, we can do so with grace, wisdom, and an enduring sense of inner peace. Making our own decisions is indeed a powerful affirmation of our autonomy and spiritual journey. It allows us to remain engaged with life, fostering a sense of purpose and responsibility. Embracing our capacity to choose empowers us to face challenges with clarity and resilience. Buddhism encourages us to see life as a series of choices, where each decision, no matter how small, contributes to our growth. By actively participating in our lives, we honor our experiences and the wisdom they bring. This doesn't mean we dismiss our children's support or advice. Rather, we integrate it into our decision-making process without relinquishing our authority. When we avoid burdening our children with the weight of our decisions, we create space for healthier relationships based on mutual respect. They can support us without feeling overwhelmed by responsibility, and we can maintain our dignity and sense of self. Practicing detachment helps us understand that while we can influence our choices, we cannot control every outcome. This acceptance is liberating. By letting go of the need to dictate results, we cultivate trust in ourselves and the universe. We learn to embrace whatever comes our way, facing it with equanimity and an open heart. In this way, we not only foster our personal growth, but also model resilience for our children. Our journey becomes an opportunity for them to witness how to navigate life's uncertainties with grace. Ultimately, by making our own decisions and practicing detachment, we enrich our lives and the lives of those we love, creating a harmonious balance where everyone can thrive. Recognizing the impermanence of life is key to maintaining healthy relationships, especially as we age. When we expect our children to always be available, we not only place undue pressure on them, but also set ourselves up for disappointment when reality doesn't align with our expectations. Buddhism emphasizes the importance of embracing change and understanding that attachment to fixed outcomes leads to suffering. By practicing detachment, we learn to appreciate the time we do have with our children without clinging to the idea that it must be constant. This shift allows us to cultivate joy in each moment, rather than viewing their absence as a loss. Moreover, accepting their responsibilities and understanding their own lives helps foster mutual respect. It encourages our children to pursue their passions and commitments without guilt, knowing that their independence is honored. This, in turn, can strengthen our bond as they feel supported in their choices rather than burdened by our expectations. Detachment doesn't diminish our love. Rather, it transforms it into a more compassionate and understanding form. We can enjoy the presence of our children when they are with us, while also finding peace in solitude when they are not. This approach nurtures our emotional well-being, empowering us to engage in self-reflection and personal growth, regardless of external circumstances. Ultimately, by letting go of the need for constant availability, we create space for a more authentic connection with our children, where love is freely given and received without the constraints of expectation. This balance not only enhances our relationships, but also enriches our lives, allowing us to navigate aging with grace and fulfillment. You've captured the essence of how emotional attachment can shape our relationships, especially in the context of aging. By fostering a sense of autonomy for both ourselves and our children, we create a healthier dynamic where love can flourish without the weight of expectation. Practicing detachment allows us to appreciate the time spent with our children without clinging to it as a necessity for our happiness. This perspective not only alleviates pressure on them, but also empowers us to seek fulfillment within ourselves. It's a reminder that true happiness comes from within, and we can cultivate it regardless of external circumstances. Buddhism emphasizes acceptance of the present moment and understanding that all relationships evolve. By letting go of the need for constant presence, we open ourselves to experiencing love more profoundly and genuinely. This acceptance fosters mutual respect, allowing our children to pursue their paths while still maintaining a loving connection with us. As we reflect on the importance of maintaining autonomy and responsibility in old age, we recognize that embracing these principles enriches our lives and deepens our relationships. It's about finding balance, understanding that while we may seek companionship, our emotional well-being ultimately resides within us. This insight can guide us toward a more serene and fulfilling aging experience, anchored in the wisdom of Buddhist teachings. You've beautifully articulated the essence of cultivating inner peace and wisdom in old age. By relinquishing the need for our children to bear the weight of our happiness or decision-making, we honor not only their autonomy, but also our capacity for growth and self-discovery. Embracing detachment allows us to foster deeper, more authentic connections with our loved ones, while freeing ourselves from the expectations that can lead to disappointment. This shift in perspective enables us to face life's uncertainties with a sense of serenity, understanding that true fulfillment comes from within. As we navigate the complexities of aging, we can view this stage as an opportunity for profound personal growth. By maintaining our decision-making autonomy and continuing to learn, we affirm our dignity and spiritual journey, finding strength in our ability to adapt and evolve. Ultimately, this journey invites us to live more fully, appreciating the present moment and the relationships we cherish, all while cultivating the inner peace that defines our true essence. As we wrap up this exploration of detachment, autonomy, and the journey of aging, I invite you to reflect on what you've learned today. How can you apply these principles to your life and relationships? Share with us one key takeaway that you plan to put into practice. Your insights could inspire others in our community. If you found value in this video, please leave your comment below, and don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to our YouTube channel. Thank you for being part of this journey toward greater inner peace and understanding. Until next time,